Okay, everybody, so we just had a video we watched about treble clef. I hope you all enjoyed that one. It went real fast, not very long. The next part, now that you know one of the clefs, the next clef should come a lot faster. The concepts are still the same. All you have to do is know what this is. So the first one we did was called the treble clef. Remember the treble clef had a little thing at the bottom and it came around and made a little squiggle like that. And remember, the treble clef shows us where G is, okay? Now, this clef that you see here, this one is called the bass clef. Not bass, but bass. Even if you're a fisherman, that's how we spell bass as well. Now, the bass clef is used for trombone, baritone and euphonium, tuba, and percussion. So percussion, this is why you have such a, not a tough job, but you have to be so well trained because you guys have to use both treble clef and bass clef. So again, that's trombone, baritone and euphonium, tuba, and percussion. Use the bass clef. Okay, now, the bass clef, it doesn't really look like a G to me like the treble clef does. So what note do you think this one tells us? So if we have A, B, C, D, E, F, G, A, B, C, D, E, F, G, the first 7 letters of the alphabet, I think that these 2 dots make me think of all those 7 letters. They make me think of F. If I were to take a letter F and put 2 dots at the end of the F, to me, it would look sort of like the bass clef. So bass clef, guess what, everybody? It tells us where the note F is. And look, there's one line that goes right between the 2 dots. And you guessed it, that line is F. So now, using the same thing we did with treble clef, let's remind ourselves how this goes together. So we'll start backwards since we want to start from the bottom, okay? F, and we think backwards in our alphabet, not forwards, but backwards, kind of tough, but you get it. After F, or before F, excuse me, comes E, and before E in the alphabet comes D, and before D comes C, and then B, and then before B comes A. Now, remember what we did on treble clef. We think, okay, A is the beginning of the alphabet. It's true. A is the beginning of the alphabet. But in music, what do? We go in a big circle. So that means that after A or before A comes G. All right? So don't forget that. Once you get to G, you repeat back to A. So G goes to A, B, C, D, E, F. And then after F, we get to G. And then we just talked about this. After G, you repeat back to A. Okay? So, from the bottom, go with me. G, B, D, F, and A. Say it one more time. G, B, D, F, and A. And then the spaces, the same number of spaces, 5 lines and 4 spaces. A, C, E, G. So here's our lines. There's 5 of those. And here's our spaces. There are 4 of those. Okay? Now, the way I remember the bass clef names, going from the bottom to the top, always bottom to top, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, is good burritos don't fall apart. So say that with me. Good burritos don't fall apart. For the spaces, I always think of 2 ways. Either all cars eat grass or all cars eat, that's my fault, everybody. Oh my goodness. All cars eat gas or all cows eat grass. Okay? So those are your spaces and your lines of the bass clef. Good burritos don't fall apart. All cars eat gas, or all cows eat grass. And those are for trombone, baritone, and euphonium, which are like the same instrument, tuba, and percussion. So don't forget, guys, learn real hard. Take a good chance to look at all these, because in order to get your instruments out next year and get to be the first ones to play your horns in class or your drums, you're going to have to know these by heart. So take the time now and memorize it, and then we can hit the ground running when the fall begins. Okay? See you later.